Hey everyone, Sean here. It's been a while since I've done a video. The weather is still kind of crappy up here in Michigan. We're still in sweatshirt weather. I've been meaning to get back to that 1962 Simplicity Wonder Boy 600. We still got to get the filler primer put on it, but the weather unfortunately has just not been in our favor, so we're waiting on that so we can continue on that project. But anyway, the shop's been getting busier here, and I've got this pressure washer from last year. The pump underneath of it went out on it last year and I was using it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how simple it is to change the pump on one of these pressure washers. This is something that you can do right at home. Now for this type of machine right here, this is a 3-legged pump. I'll open this up for you, but this is your part number. This is a Stens 58-905. I'll post a link in my description. You can get this right on Amazon. And this is exactly what you get when you get your box. Something else too, I actually am a Stens dealer as well, but you know, that's one thing cool about Amazon. Stens makes a really good product, and Amazon is starting to get more Stens products on there, you know, that are available people can get. You know, if you don't have a resource, you know, to get Stens parts. I can tell you right now, they wrap these up really good. Okay, so now all we got to do to take this off is, this pump anyway has an 8mm hex bolt on here. We just take and loosen these up. Now you'll have to hang on your motor here, because as soon as you take this loose, it's going to want to flop backwards, okay? Get it loose like so. So you got to pay attention on some of these pumps here too, because there's a couple washers that were spaced on this. And it just takes and pops loose like that. Those shims fall down. Yeah, let's see. Sometimes you gotta tap these to get them loose. Might get a little penetrating oil soaked down in there. I use a lot of this liquid wrench here in the shop too. I can post a link in my description on this stuff. If you would like to get some of this, you can get this on Amazon as well. They carry it. Alright, let's see if we can smack that pump down now. Sometimes they can be stubborn. This one's being a little more stubborn coming off. We'll just let that sit there for a few minutes here, and we'll come right back and smack it some more. There we go. See what I mean? You gotta hold your motor. I didn't hold that, so. But yeah, I let that set for about 10 minutes or so. It was only just a few seconds for you guys, but now we can go ahead and put the other pump on. Now what I would recommend, before you set your engine back in, just take a little bit of anise, like so here. And just put some on that crankshaft right there. Just so if you ever have to replace this pump again, it comes off a little bit easier. All right, now we're to the step right now. We're going to start putting our pump on the engine here. This can be kind of tricky. This is the hardest part, trying to hold the motor and put the pump on. So all we do is just take and slide our pump on, just like this. And try to catch that keyway just right so it don't push up, just like it just did. There we go. You got to kind of have a little bit of finesse here when you do this. So now the next thing we got to do, once we get this slid on here, we got to bolt it on. That's as far as it goes, and as you can see, there's a gap that goes there, so we got to take and shim that clearance up. This originally had a couple washers on each side, so I'll take and slide these in here, just like so. All right, now we got to take and put 2 more washers in on these other flanges, just like so. Hopefully you can all see with my big fingers here how I'm doing this. I'm just sliding that back like so, so I can get the bolt through, get the clearance that I need. You don't want to put this on here and put it too tight, because if you take and you put this pump on and crush it too tight, it'll put pressure on that bearing and the pump will fail prematurely. And as easy as it is to change these pumps, that still don't mean that we need to do it again because we get in a hurry with something. Now our pump is on, so we pull it over, make sure it don't bind up at all, and it's not. So that's good. We got the right clearance on there. All right, well, that's all there is to it. So now the next step we got to do, let's take and hook some water up to this and a hose, and we'll see how this thing starts up and works. All right, we got our water source hooked up to the pump. We got the nozzle put on it. Now we're going to start this thing up and see it works. Now, one thing to keep in mind on these pressure washers, you do not want to let them run long without cycling water through the pump. See, when water flows through that pump, that's what keeps that pump cool. Now, granted, they have oil inside the pump, but that's only going to go so far. In fact, manufacturers tell you if you run these things over 10 seconds without water flow going through them, it can damage the pump. So let's fire this up and see what it does. It's just as easy as that. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in here and checking out on how to replace the pump on your pressure washer, such as this one right here. So until next time, we'll see you in our next video. Take care, everyone.